Hi people, today I want to talk to you about the book Grown by Tiffany D. And I have to say this is the first book of hers that I have read. I have read collaborations that she has written like Blackout, which I loved. Yeah, I have been pondering which book of hers should I begin reading and I decided Grown. Man, was I surprised with this one. We are going to be following our main character as she wants to pursue a career as a singer. She has a very good voice and she's a high schooler. And then she goes to this audition and she meets this famous musician. They interchange phone numbers and then suddenly they're chatting and they're sending songs back and forth, and under the disguise of him wanting to help her achieve the success that she wants, he offers her parents the opportunity to bring her along in this concerts that he is doing. So I'm not going to spoil much about this book because I think it's very powerful, and I knew almost nothing about what I was getting into. You know that you are going to get into a relationship that's abusive and you're going to have an older man with a younger girl, so you have this imbalance in power and also in age and on age, different ages and things like that. But I think it's very powerful if you go blind almost inside this book. Honestly, I have to say that there were moments in which it was difficult for me to keep on reading because the author does a great job of depicting child abuse, grooming, trying to mold a person into the shape that you desire, using and abusing another person, the use of drugs to have the other person do your will, also physical, verbal, emotional abuse, manipulation, different kinds of things that we have this horrible toxic relationship in which we are going to have a party who has all age, power, money, fame, and whatnot to try and to disguise what he's doing, and also he is an expert manipulator. I think it's not his first rodeo. And then we have this young, impressionable young kid, this adolescent, who finds herself, she thinks that she knows what she's doing, but suddenly finds herself taken away by this character, by this persona, and having to dress in different ways, having to act in different ways, having to wear wigs and makeup. And also there is this very uncomfortable scene in which they are discussing the fact of making her undergo surgery to have more breasts. No, she already has breasts, but she has to have a better ass and different things. And she's like, it's my body, maybe I should consult with my parents first. But she never stops and think, what is that I want? Because she is inside this relationship that is stealing away everything that she is and everything that she has. She turns into this recluse. She loses her voice, she loses her position, her ability to say no, to run away, to do whatever she wants with her life. It's like she's an enslaved to this other persona. And towards the end, the book is going to present us also with the fact that black women are the less believed of all women. When she's going to say something about what has happened, no one is going to believe her because she's black. And I think that's also a very powerful message that the book is going to deliver. And the fact that we end up adopting her as well as a reader. Maybe it wasn't that. Maybe she was selling us this version. Maybe, nothing of what we have read happened. I'm not going to explain to you what really does happen or not in the book, whether or not it's the product of a mental illness, that we have this unreliable narrator of if people are playing with her, making herself doubt herself, and even as the readers doubt her word. It was a very... I even like the words that I want to give this book. I think it's a book that we need, all of us, to read. For me, it has been eye-opening in the way that Tiffany D has written this book. It's a very powerful message that she delivers. It's a very tough book to read. As I said, it deals with a lot of topics that can be trigger warnings or very uncomfortable. As I was saying, child abuse, pornography, drug use, but not as one person that uses the drugs, but forcing the drugs onto other people, grooming a person into what you want, kind of sexual abuse too. I don't know if pedophilia will fit into the slots, but emotional, physical abuse, having someone held against their will, talking about them as if they're not present, discussing whether or not they should get, or you are going to make them get that surgery so they look more like you want them to, and abusing the trust and the confidence of a person that has, put herself into the hands of that let's say human being, but let's say being. There's nothing human about that guy. And also the lengths in which these choreographies and people in power positions that have lots of money, how they can cover all of those things and end up looking like they're the good guys. It really didn't happen, not in the way that she's telling. We're going to dismiss that, we're come to a settlement. And I think it's very scary to know that this is not some far-fetched fantasy. At the end of the book, the author reveals that it may be or may not be based on something that happened with a singer, I think it was. And yeah, this kind of thing sadly happens, and I think it's very important to read these kind of books to be eye-opening, especially on, I was going to say on younger people, but I think that all the people can get themselves trapped into this kind of situations, and I think it helps reading this kind of books and opening our eyes to these kind of situations. And yeah, very good book, very uncomfortable book, very amazing book, very nicely done writing, and it really conveys the message that it wants to convey. So yeah, I mean, if you have read Tiffany D. this is an amazing work. If you have never read her, as this was my first book of hers, I really, really want to know more about her work as a writer, because I was very impressed by the way she has of dealing with topics, presenting them, it was I think it was a very honest, raw book, and at the time, it was I enjoyed reading this book. At the same time, I was very uncomfortable by this book. I think it was something that it's needed, as I say. Not all books are fairy tales. Some of them depict the monsters and show them the monsters and show us the monsters as they are, and I think it's very important because of that. Yeah, amazing read, eye-opening, very uncomfortable, amazingly well written and well presented to the audience, the readers. So yeah, thank you for watching.